In the next part of this tutorial, we're going to use Actionscript to add things to the stage and also to program the buttons that we've just created. Double-click the main.as file in the project panel to open it. Type in the following code: package, skip a line, curly bracket, import flash.display.movieclip, semicolon, skip a line, public class main, capital M, the same name as the Actionscript file, extends movieclip, skip a line, curly bracket, skip a line, var, var for variable, start page, small s, capital P, full colon, start page with a capital S and a capital P, semicolon. Public function main, again the name of the Actionscript file, ordinary brackets, opening and closing, skip a line, curly bracket. Start page with a capital S and a small s and a capital P, equals new space start page with a capital S, capital P, semicolon. Skip a line, add child, small a, capital C, ordinary bracket, start page with a small s, closing bracket, semicolon. Skip a line, a closing curly bracket, skip another line, another closing curly bracket, and skip one more line and a final curly bracket to close the entire Actionscript file. Check your Actionscript very carefully after you've finished typing it and then save the main.as file. Save the file, press Ctrl and Enter to test the movie, and the start page should now be displayed in the test window. If not, go back and check the code carefully. What this code does is adds the start page symbol to the stage. Let's have a look at the code. The first line of code declares a variable. This is var start page colon start page. And a variable is anything that stores information. You can think of it like an empty box. You can call a variable anything. In our case, we have declared that the variable is called start page with a small s, which references the start page symbol in the library with a capital S. So if you remember, when we exported our start page symbol, we exported the class with a capital S and a capital P. That's the class name of that particular symbol. The variable has a small s, that's the instance name. So you've got two elements, the instance name and the class name. That's all you need to remember about that. The next line of code creates an instance of the start page symbol and stores it in the new variable start page. So we are creating an instance in this variable by using this line, start page equals new start page. And finally, the add child function takes that variable and adds it to the stage. So it adds the start page instance to the stage. Next, we're going to add some interactivity to the production by programming the buttons. As we're going to interact with the production with the mouse, we need to add Actionscript 3's mouse event class into the program. So add this line to your Actionscript code. Import flash.events.mouseEvent, semicolon. This should be inside the main package brackets. We now need to create two new variables to hold both the hill page and the pond page symbols. So we're going to go to the next line after var start page and type in var hill page colon hill page. The first hill page is the variable name, should have a small h and a capital P. The second hill page is the class name, should have a capital H and a capital P. Skip a line, var pond page, small p, capital P, colon pond page, capital P, semicolon. And that creates two variables of both the hill page and pond page respectively. Next, we create instances of the hill page and pond page symbols. So we can copy the hill page symbol into the hill page variable so that it's ready to use. And to do this, we just copy the same procedure we did for start page. We type the instance name that we want to use, which is hill page with a small h, equals new hill page with a capital H. So it's a new instance of the class hill page, and a semicolon at the end, and skip a line and follow the same technique for pond page. So the name of the instance, pond page with a small p, equals new pond page with a capital P, the class name. So we're creating a new instance of the class pond page. We can call these instances anything we want, but it just is useful to call it the same thing with a lowercase p instead of a capital P, because we can then recognize when we see it again. Okay, so add a comment to the script to show that we're going to use event listeners on our buttons. And remember, event listeners listen for interaction from the mouse in this particular example. So a comment, just do 2 forward slashes and type add event listeners so that we can understand what the next action script refers to. Add the event listeners to the 2 buttons which we have already put on the stage and already given instance names. So we can type start page dot hill button dot add event listener ordinary bracket mouse event capital M capital E dot click all capital letters comma on hill button click using camel case convention semicolon. Then we do the same for the pond button, skip a line, start page dot pond button, both instance names of the symbols, dot add event listener ordinary bracket mouse event dot click comma on pond page click semicolon. And don't forget to put in your closing bracket there as well. Note that we put start page dot hill button. This is called dot notation. So we're saying that on the start page there is a button called hill button. So technically it's inside the start page symbol. There's another symbol with an instance name of hill button. Next we add the event handler, which says what we want to happen when we click the button and run the events. So on hill button click and on pond button click. Both of these are functions that we've referred to in the add event listener function. So in this example, when we click the button in the hill page, the hill page will be added and the start page will be removed from the stage. So add the following event handlers to the code. Add a comment for 2 forward slashes event handler, skip a line. The first event handler is the on hill button click. So we type the word function, then on hill button click, ordinary brackets, event, full colon, mouse event, followed by another full colon and the word void. Skip a line and open 2 curly brackets. Inside the curly brackets, we're going to type what actually happens in this function. Add child, ordinary brackets, instance name hill page, and then a semicolon, which adds the hill page symbol to the stage. Skip a line, remove child, ordinary brackets, start page, semicolon. This removes the start page instance from the stage. That's our on hill button click function completed. Skip a line and do the exact same for the on pond button click function, on pond button click, ordinary brackets, event colon mouse event colon void. Then create 2 curly brackets, and inside those we'll create the on pond button click functionality. Add child, ordinary brackets, pond page, so the instance pond page will be added to the stage. Skip a line, remove child, ordinary brackets, start page, semicolon, and the start page will be removed from the stage to make way for the pond page. This is what happens when you click the pond button. Test the movie and click on one of the buttons. The hill page or the pond page should be displayed when you click the button. The problem is that you can't go back to the start page at the moment. So we need to create a back button and add it to the hill page and the pond page so that we can go back to the start page when we're on both the hill and pond button. So duplicate one of the buttons from your library or create a new button called Back to Start button. Have up, over and down states for this button, and when you create the symbol, make sure you check Export for Actionscript to create the class Back to Start button. It's very important that you name your files and symbols correctly. Actionscript can only work with what you've told it to do. So in the hill page symbol, create a new layer called Buttons and add the back button to the stage inside the hill page symbol. Give it an instance name, Back to Start button with a small b, and then using camel case for the rest of the words. Edit the pond page symbol and create a new layer called Buttons in the same way. And add an instance of the back button to the stage inside the pond page symbol. And once again, name the instance on the stage Back to Start button with a small b and camel case for the rest. Return to the main Actionscript file. Make sure you save your flash file first. And add event listeners to the back buttons that will run the event handlers. So we're going to go to our current event listeners, which is to listen for on hill button click and on pond button click. And next we need to add event listeners for the on back button click for both the hill page and the pond page. So first of all, we're going to do the hill page button, the back button. So we type hill page dot back to start button dot add event listener and some ordinary brackets. So this is creating an event listener on the back to start button in the hill page symbol. Inside the ordinary brackets, mouse event dot click, comma, on back button click underscore hill, semicolon. So the function name is on back button click hill. Repeat the process. You can copy and paste and just change the appropriate words. Pond page dot back to start button dot add event listener, ordinary brackets, mouse event dot click, comma, on back button click underscore pond, semicolon. So this event listener is applied to the back to start button in the pond page, and when it's clicked, it's going to run the on back button click pond function. Add event handlers to say what will happen when the back button is clicked in each case. So in this example, it adds either the pond page or the hill page to the stage and removes the start page from the stage. The opposite way around, actually. It removes the pond page or the hill page and adds the start page because we're going back from either the pond page or the hill page. So function on back button click hill, ordinary bracket, event colon mouse event colon void, two curly brackets, add child, ordinary brackets, start page, semicolon, and remove child, hill page. So we're basically removing the hill page and adding the start page. Same thing for the pond back button. Function on back button click pond, event mouse event, void, then add child, start page, and remove child, pond page. Okay. Check the code carefully and save the page. When you make changes, always save so that the changes will take effect when you run the program. If you don't save, then the last action script you added will not run. Test the movie. When you click the buttons this time, you should be able to return to the start page. If not, check your code very carefully. If you have one dot missing or a capital letter in the place of a lowercase letter, again, it won't work properly. So just be very careful that you are being accurate in typing your ActionScript code. You should read chapter 3 of the Foundation Game Design book to accompany this tutorial, which is Chapter 3 Programming Objects.